I'm getting married in June. We've been planning the wedding for a year and a half, and around the time we started booking things, mother-in-law found out that father-in-law was having an affair with her friend. She didn't take it well at all, not that I blame her. But the divorce really brought out a lot of bad qualities that I had somewhat seen in her. But she had his better before. She is extremely selfish, always the victim, and she doesn't really care about her son. From the beginning, we said we were not going to be put in the middle. What father-in-law did was awful, but she cannot drag her son into this. He loves his dad, and she needs to be respectful. Well, she whined for months about how she didn't want to see father-in-law at the wedding. No one loved her, or he wouldn't be invited. She was depressed, etc. We tried to comfort her, but while maintaining our boundary that he was absolutely going to have his dad at his wedding. Well, then mother-in-law found out that father-in-law was bringing his girlfriend, the woman he had the affair with, and she lost it. She said awful things to her son, said the only way to prove we loved her was to deny him a +1, threatened not to come, tried to make her parents take back their money. We explained she could bring someone as well, but she demanded he not get a +1, and during a fight, said she would go without one too, if we took his back. Then, 5 months ago, she got a boyfriend, and promptly shut the duck up about all of this. She is suddenly excited for the wedding, because apparently, the only purpose of her son's wedding is to show off her boyfriend. 5 months ago, it was the end of the world, but she has this new guy who, to be honest, is really hot, and father-in-law propositioned her for S a few weeks ago, so she is on top of the world. Recently, mother-in-law's mom said I had to see what mother-in-law was wearing to my wedding because it was so inappropriate. Her mom was hysterical, so I checked it out, and honestly, it is fine. I'm not even sure what the issue was, but mother-in-law insisted she was wearing it anyway because her boyfriend picked it out. I just saw a great opportunity and said, well, it sucks he won't get to see you in it. Mother-in-law said he was coming, and I was like, no, sorry, I think you misunderstood. Remember you gave up your +1 so we would take father-in-law's, because after all, it is so soon after the divorce. She lost her crap and started calling me names, saying our marriage wasn't going to last and everyone crap talks our relationship. Then she started crying and locked herself in the bathroom. I told her it was just a prank, and she came out all huffy and refused to talk to me. Her mom said that was incredibly cruel. Everyone else thought it was funny. Wow, Major, you're the a-hole. Having the father-in-law's affair partner get a +1 to the wedding is taking sides. And then teasing mother-in-law about getting a +1? Childish and very unkind. You're the a-hole. She was cheated on. You honestly think you would be fine seeing the man you married and had children with the woman he cheated on with you at your son's wedding? Oh wait, that was also her best friend? Also, she was the victim in that situation. Are you just so heartless you wouldn't be moved if your soon-to-be husband took off with your best friend? Everyone sucks here. Jesus, where do we even start? Dad, obviously. Also, what kind of skis-ball cheats, nukes his marriage, and then comes back like, looking good, ma, let's duck? Gross. Your father-in-law's behavior is gross. Mom, your and her son's wedding is not about her. Absolutely classless response on her part. However, I will say that if I was caught completely by surprise by my very long-term partner and the father of my child's torrid affair, I might go a little crazy too. You, compassion much? Of course it's okay for your fiancé to love his father and want him at the wedding, and the boundary you originally drew is perfectly fine. But were you really shocked and surprised that a cheated-on spouse did not want the ex's very recent affair partner at her child's wedding? Like, of course, she didn't want the affair that ended her marriage, embarrassed her, and humiliated her rubbed in her face at her son's wedding. And if father-in-law had a shred of decency, he wouldn't presume to bring his side piece to an important event in his child's life, because it would profoundly hurt the mother of his child. Then your joke. What the hell? Do you just like the drama? 'Cause it really seems like you do. Edit to add. Grandma. Why is she freaking out about her grown daughter's apparently perfectly acceptable outfit? Your whole family appears to be childish, dramatic, and immature. Probably a good match for you, actually, because that's exactly what your prank was. Pro tip: pranks are only funny if the person being pranked also thinks it's funny. Otherwise, it's just aggression. I am the oldest of my parents' 8 children. all 3 to 16 years old. I'm 23. My biological father died 2 months after I was born, and my father, stepfather, has been present in my life since I was 3 years old. The house I currently live in belonged to my paternal grandfather, who, when he died, as he had no wife and children, my biological father was an only child, made me the only heir of his things. He passed away when I was 15. As the house was quite big, 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, my parents talked to me about our family moving there, as it would be cheaper and accommodate everyone. The only thing I wanted was the master suite for myself, and it actually became my bedroom. Currently, my mother is 6 months pregnant again. I work and earn a good salary. I don't pay the house bills, but I help with the groceries. This month, I started having complaints from my parents saying that I should help more with my younger brothers. I always argue that I'm not their father and that it's their responsibility, as they are so financially tight, and started to charge me to pay some bills, because they were not able to, and I started to pay some, but not as they wanted. I had my limit when they suggested I move into their room, as they would need space for the new baby, and they pay most of the bills, so they should have the biggest room. I told them they can pay most bills, but they don't pay a dime on a huge house, and it's only in my name. And if they want more space for their 9th child, I suggest they move to another house, because I am the owner of the house, and I won't give up my comfort because they don't stop having children. They started calling me an ungrateful son, and that they raised me to be empathetic and kind. But I am showing myself to be a cold and extremely selfish person who threatens their own parents to take them out of the house for not agreeing with a suggestion. I talked to my maternal grandmother. She said that she understands my side, but that I may have been very hard on them, especially since they were my parents. They're not talking to me properly, by the way. Am I the a-hole? Not US. Obviously, I'm not able to support the house on my own, but it's a great house for rent, and only with it I could rent a smaller house and live on that money alone. The fees that are yearly here. My grandfather left a responsible accountant to pay that for me with some money left for this. So no, they don't put money in the house besides bills and any things that break. It's not forever, but my grandfather protected me financially until I at least had the capacity and maturity to do so. Not the a-hole. They've got some nerve even asking that of you. It blows my mind when people pop out almost an entire football team's worth of kids and then make it other people's problem. Not the a-hole. If your parents can't afford to house and feed their 9 children on their own, then they should stop having kids. Their demands are also presumptuous. They will soon take over the house, and what about if you want to get married and have kids of your own? I would sit down with them and establish a timeline of how they intend to manage their lives independent of you, and make it clear that you will not be financially responsible for them, nor will you parent your siblings or give up your bedroom. Not the a-hole. Their baby, their problem. I do think it's good for you to pay your share of groceries and utilities. Beyond that, nope. And you know it will just get worse. Soon, they'll be bothering you for more money to feed, clothe, and educate their kids. Put your foot down. You're already generously letting them stay rent-free. If they don't like the situation, they can leave. So, no, you aren't an a-hole. Not at all. I, 28 female, and husband, 30 male, do not have kids. We both have decent-paying jobs and real estate. That said, we love to travel, and many times also pay and invite our families to go with us. My brother, 26 male, married and had my nephew, 4 male, with my middle school best friend, 28 female. Yes, he married my best friend, and we are still best friends. They had my nephew and years later divorced. To the point. My brother started dating his new girlfriend, we will call her Ashley. They've been together around 9-ish months. They're not engaged or married. She has a son who is 5. We will call him John. I've only met John a handful of times. He's a nice kid, but I don't really know him. I only know Ashley on a first-name basis in a way. We talk occasionally, but nothing in depth. I invited my ex-sister-in-law and nephew to Disney this summer for 6 days. 2 days in Disney, 1 in Universal. The remaining days would be chill Orlando days. We are paying for them to go. I've always wanted to take nephew to Disney since he was smaller. He loves Mickey. We didn't tell him in front of John or Ashley, but it made it back to Ashley that we were taking him. She confronts me at a family dinner on the side and tells me she's upset we are not including her child, and that he should have been invited. She said he doesn't feel like he fits in, is family, and that excluding him from Disney has made him cry all night. I was so shocked. We are easily paying $2,000 for my nephew and his best friend to go. Tickets, airfare, lodging, and of course some toys. I blew up. I told her that I didn't even know her or her kid. They have only been around for a few months, and he's not my nephew. I told her I didn't like the entitled mentality, and to make it a point, I would make sure to exclude her from all future family gatherings. She left crying. My brother and parents are all upset with me, that I'm excluding this child and isolating them. I told them if they'd like to pay for them, I don't mind them tagging along. But they all said, "You have more means than us." They're not doing great financially, which is why I didn't ask in the beginning. She made a huge Facebook post and everyone is siding with her. Did I go too far? Should I have offered to include them? Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Ballsy move. She's not married to your brother but still making demands? Wowza. That's entitlement on a new level. The only reason her son was crying over this is because she told him all about it. This is her fault. I hope your brother realizes what kind of person she is in time. Not the a-hole. She shouldn't have put you on the spot in front of family, nor should she have taken it to Facebook. Just because you have the means does not mean you have to share it. It's a beautifully generous thing you're doing for your nephew and friend. It's no one else's business to tell you what to do with your hard-earned money. Had this new girlfriend and son been around years upon years, I would have perhaps said it would have been nice to at least ask. Not the a-hole. If she had come to you like a reasonable person and asked nicely, that would be a different situation. But coming at you, guns hot, making demands of what you should be doing, from someone you barely know? Oh, hell no. She screwed herself out of the possibility of this trip and any others. I hope your brother wakes up and smells the attitude. Quick background. My ex and I were together for almost 10 years. During that time, she was emotionally, verbally, financially, and kind of aggressive. Would use as a reward. About 6 years ago, she's acting different, hiding her phone, going out a ton with her friends, and other things. During that time, my dad lost his job, so we moved into my parents to help them out financially. But after about 6 months, she tells me she's leaving me. At this point, I couldn't care less. It had been almost a year since we had We wouldn't touch at all. At this point, she was just someone I shared a bed with. So I told her, that's fine. When will you move out? She was out by that weekend. Turns out she was also cheating on me with a coworker and got pregnant. I should state that I'm a lesbian, so there's no chance it's mine. During that time, she was working in retail for a chain that has since gone out of business. I heard from her brother that she now worked for 7-Eleven. About a year after we broke up, I got a new job and met my now fiancé, and I've never been happier. Now to the story. There is a 7-Eleven around the corner from my work that I go to about 3 times a week, sometimes less. When I first saw her there, I ignored her, but the next time I was in, I asked another employee if she worked at the store full-time. I only asked because if she did, I would rather just not go there. She's honestly someone I'd rather not see again. Turns out, she's a supervisor, so the risk is small of seeing her. It's been 2 years that I've been going there, and I've seen her now 3 times. In those 2 years, I've become friendly with the employees, and I mentioned my upcoming wedding to one of them. Today, during my lunch, I went there for a drink. Noticed my ex counting inventory or something, but I just got my drink and went to pay. The cashier, not knowing she's my ex, I assume, asks me how the wedding planning is going. This is when my ex comes rushing towards me and asks if I'm getting married. I said, yes, I am. This is when she flipped out. How can I get married and not invite her? She demands a table for her and her family. Honestly, I couldn't help it. I laughed at her face and called her crazy. I told her I would never invite her to my wedding, and I want nothing to do with her. I told my fiancé what happened, and while she agrees that she's obviously not invited, I should not have called her crazy at her work. So, am I the a-hole for calling my ex crazy? Not the a-hole. I'm not sure what kind of reaction she was expecting. She cheated, got pregnant. I'm assuming no contact after that. And suddenly she wants an invite to your impending nuptials? Sounding crazy to me. She chose to ask in a public forum. She got her answer. Not the a-hole. I can imagine many people are smiling at this story. It's unfortunate that it was at her work, but unavoidable because she came up to you like that, and it happens to be where she works. You didn't seek her out. Not the a-hole. She's your ex, and an ex who cheated on you. In what alternate dimension is she living where you would actually want her at your wedding? I would honestly complain to corporate about her behavior towards you while she was at work. I, 35 female, have been divorced from my 41 male husband for 3 years. We have one son, 5 together. My ex, we will call him K, started dating another woman. We will call her G. K and I have a great relationship with each other. We still love each other as friends. K started dating G about 10 months ago. G and I have become really great friends and enjoy being around each other. Everything seemed to be going great until the other day. G and K have started talking about marriage. I know K is really hesitant, but G really wants to be married and have children on her own. I guess G saw some old pictures of me in my wedding dress and has been raving about how pretty my dress is. The other day we had coffee together, and G brought up getting married soon. I told her how happy I was for her. Things changed though when she asked if she could wear my wedding dress. I was really shocked she even asked. I immediately told her that I was flattered, but no. She immediately got extremely pouty and started to ask why. I explained that I just wasn't comfortable with her wearing my dress to marry my ex-husband. She got really upset and started to cause a scene. I walked out knowing that she was not going to calm down. About an hour later, my ex-husband called asking what happened. When I told him, he completely understood and was on my side. But it didn't end there. G has been having her friends and family call me and my work, calling me an a-hole for not sharing. G is claiming that I'm not over K and that I'm just doing this to ruin her wedding. While it's true that I'm not over K, part of me just doesn't feel comfortable having her wear my dress. This whole argument has really put a strain on my ex's and I's relationship and the relationship around my son. Part of me feels like I should give in, but I still just don't feel comfortable with it. So am I the a-hole for not letting her wear my dress? Edit to add. G told her friends and family that I offered for her to use the dress, but then backed out because I was jealous. One last edit. I know it's been a while and no one will probably see this, but I have some amazing news. First, K broke up with G pretty quickly after this incident. He saw how crazy she truly was. After that, K and I started to get closer again. We've been dating for 6 months now, and K is moving back in. Not the a-hole. How can people be this weird? Also, what is it with everyone in these posts getting their friends and family to call random people they don't know and berate them? I've never come across this in real life. Not the a-hole. It's honestly creepy that she wants to use your dress. What's going on in her head that she doesn't see this as weird? The best advice I can give you is perhaps advise your ex-husband to try to encourage her to make buying a dress a big sappy event. Advertise it like it's a say yes to the dress moment that as a bride she can't miss out on or something. What the hell? Why on earth would a woman ever want to wear a dress that their partner's ex-wife wore? That just boggles my mind. That's some super bad juju right there. She needs to buy her own dress. She and her family are out of their mind to think that having yours is the right way to do this wedding. Surely she can find another dress that is either the same or similar. Better yet, a dress all of her own. I'd be asking her why she wants to look like you on her wedding day. Not the a-hole at all.